Good morning. Welcome to Time in His Word. Do you ever feel like you're really struggling? I mean, everything's going great in your life. You got a good job. Your family life is great. Your family's healthy. You don't have no concerns. But at times you still have the feeling that you're just struggling for no reason. Maybe it's just a small thing, or maybe it's a big thing. But even though everything's going good, you still have that feeling that you're just struggling and you can't understand why. Maybe you start to question God. Why am I struggling so bad? Why do I feel so overwhelmed when everything's going great? In James, the first chapter, verse 13 says this: "Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted by evil, and he himself does not tempt anyone." Did you catch the last part of that verse? And he himself does not tempt anyone. I want this morning, for the sake of discussion, could daily struggles also be the same as things that tempt us and cause us to fall out of God's grace and to sin? Or is that a stretch? Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. But for the discussion this morning, I think it's relevant. I mean, isn't struggling in daily life, could that be a form of being tempted? Or and so if God can't tempt anyone, it says, and he himself does not tempt anyone, so then that only leaves Satan to be the one tempting us, right? But we all have those struggles, and we all have that trying to figure out why we're struggling. And a lot of times it makes no sense as to why we have that feeling of struggling. We're, like I said earlier, everything's going great, but yet you still feel like you're struggling. Could it be you lost focus on the Lord? Could that be the reason why? Or maybe you've been neglecting your quiet time and study and prayer, and now Satan's found that little crack, and he's trying to get in. Could that be why you have that feeling of struggling when everything's going good? In 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, verse 13 says, "No temptation has overtaken you, but such as is common to man. And God is faithful. He will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation will provide the way of escape, also so that you may be able to endure it." So then, with this verse, does that mean that we're being tempted in order for us to grow in our faith? Or are we being tempted to see if we will remain committed to God, and the slight little thing that throws us off track completely? But it keeps coming back to me, struggling. When everything's going good, still at times you feel like you're struggling. Well, this verse here tells us we're not going to be tempted more than we're beyond able to control, to handle. So again, it's being tempted the same thing as struggling in life. Are they one and the same? I think they are at times, and that's just my personal thought. I think sometimes the struggles in life, we might not be tempted to look at pornography, or we may not be tempted, be you male or female, somebody of the opposite sex that's really attractive flirts with you, and you fall, you fall prey to it. I don't think at times, I wonder that if temptation and struggles in life are one and the same. Because as I've been thinking about this this morning and putting this together, I at times myself think they are one and the same, because Satan is the master of lies. So if he tells a little bitty lie to get you off track, then he's succeeded. So then, If we're struggling, are we losing our focus on the Savior, the same as if we were being tempted and we lose focus on the Savior? See what I'm getting at? Are the two one and the same, or are they two separate things? I think that would make a great discussion if you have a small group or a Sunday school lesson and you're trying to figure out something for next week's lesson. Ask that question. Is struggling with life's daily problems and being tempted, are they one and the same, or are they two separate deals? It's just a thought I had. But I want to close with this, and it says in Matthew, the 19th chapter, verse 26, and looking at them, Jesus said to them, with people this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. So if we're struggling in life, even though everything's going good, and we feel tempted by whatever causes us to lose our focus on our Savior and turn our back towards Him, if we're relying on man to get through that dilemma in life, we're going to fail. Do you agree or not? I mean, it says in Matthew, and looking at them, Jesus, with people this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. So maybe the whole thing this morning is our focus. If our focus on Christ isn't where it should be, then would that of course that allow temptation into our life, but then does that also allow us to struggle in life when everything's going good? I don't know, just one of them mornings with a thought and a question. And like I said, if you have a small group or Sunday school class, that would be a good question. Think about that today. So if you're struggling in life, have you lost your focus on the Savior, or are you being tempted in order for you to lose focus on the Savior and turn away from Him? But remember, as it said in Corinthians, but with the temptation will provide a way of escape so that you will be able to endure it.